Hey guys, we're back with the house in Fata Morgana. I just recorded one like 20 minutes ago, but then a neighbor started mowing the lawn like right next to my window, so that picked up. I stopped, and they immediately stopped after I stopped, so I'm good now. Time to record one more today. This will be my third one. We still had to stop mid-scene. And for that, I owe you an apology. Basically, his brother's just like, yo, you're gonna get killed. But you need to understand, I do not agree with Father's decision. I do not want to lose you. I don't think you're a demon child. And Georges feels the same. Neither of us wants to see you dead. What he said, Michelle. It's not much time. We need to get you out of here. Bit down hard on my lower lip. Hard enough to draw blood. It was that... We start sobbing. It's a little late for that. Michelle. If you don't get out of here, you're gonna be killed. I'm not an angel sent from heaven or a demon child. Then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bollinger. You're our family. That's all there is to it. I pray you can forgive me for averting my eyes for so long. Can I trust you? Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you'll always be on my side? That you'll always be my brothers? Can I put trust in you once more, Didier, Georges? You absolutely can, Michelle. I swear to God on high. And I swear to the God of art. Michelle. I have no other choice, do I? I couldn't talk Father out of it, could I? I'd rather you didn't try. He's not a man to change his mind. If you're to show up before him, he'll likely draw a sword on you himself. He'll destroy Mother. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this only for you. Okay. I'll go. Well, thank goodness. The carriage will take you to a mansion, Michelle. It's a property Father purchased some time ago, but due to rumors about the house, it's abandoned. No one wants to buy it from here either, and that's unlikely to change. It's the ideal place to keep you out of sight. All kinds of rumors. Well, no point in keeping it a secret. Is it right to know? They say a witch lives there. A witch? I think it's all just made up, personally. I wanted to check the place out, and there's no one there. It was a little dreary, to be sure. I'd hoped to have a better place arranged for you, but there wasn't enough time. This is only temporary, Michelle. Yeah, temporary. Cannot say how long it will be, but Father will pass away eventually. Oh! When he does, Georges will inherit the estate. That will mean you can return. So I ask that you hold out until that time. If I don't leave, I'm going to be executed. So send me anywhere. I won't complain. Glad to hear you say that. I'll talk to Father. I'm sure he does not suspect anything. We'll make this work. Don't you worry. The long and short of it is, Dad simply wants you erased from the family. Georges! Sorry. I wasn't trying to be mean. But anywho, once they take over, we're in the clear. You'll be acknowledged as a Bollinger. I see. Okay then. Can I open the door now? Just a minute. Huh? You're still not ready? I don't have any clothing. Ah, right. You want it, huh? How tall are you now, Michelle? Around the same height as you, I think. Taller than me? Dang! Alright, I'll bring you some of my clothes. Thank you. I didn't think I'd ever heard you say thank you without putting up a fight, Michelle. That's not you. I don't think. I'll be back soon. Get what you need together. Alright. Sitting in the carriage waiting outside, listening to the pitter-patter of rain, I gazed out at my two brothers. I hadn't seen them in 2 years, but they hardly looked any different than how I remembered them. I was the only one who had changed, and dramatically at that. Looking at them, I couldn't help but remember the old days. Playing chess with Didier, learning to draw from Georges, our sibling outings. However, the ominous sound of thunder crashing in the distance drowned out those memories. The mansion is several days' travel from here. Hopefully the carriage isn't too uncomfortable. I'll send a package with any supplies you need once a month. Food, clothing, and, something to pass the time. If there's anything you want, Michelle, just tell me. Now, or you can have a servant pass a message on to me. I can't think of... Actually, wait. I can think of one thing. I'd like a chess set. Alright, I'll have one made. I'd rather have yours, Didier. Would that be possible? Are you sure you want that beaten old thing? Yes, I want that one. Alright then. I'll include it in the first delivery. I'll send you something too, Michelle. Anything you want, just tell me. In that case, I'd like some art tools. Nowhere near as much of an artist as you are, Georges, so they don't have to be anything special. Gotcha. So some canvas and, how about some charcoal? When you're back, I want to see what you made with it, okay? Okay. I know this is already hard enough on you, Michelle, but I need to ask you to do something for me. Avoid making contact with anyone who doesn't already know about you. So, can't talk to anybody but the servants? Put simply, yes. Tomorrow the world will consider you dead. So we cannot have people finding out you're actually alive. Especially Father. Please do this for me. I've been doing this for 2 years already. Long since lost interest in interacting with anyone, so you don't need to ask me to keep to myself. Right. Does anyone else know I'm alive? Yes, Mother knows. In fact, this was her idea. It was? She loves you, Michelle. She really does. Mom just, is having a little trouble facing the truth. So even though she's not here to see you off, I guarantee you she doesn't want to see you dead. What about, Michelle got killed at the end of Door 5. Michelle sent 2 letters, one to his mom and one to one of his brothers. You don't think Georges or Didier sent that, right? Like, the holy squad of knights. That wasn't, right? That was his mom, right? She wants to have you in her life again. I expect Mother will be writing you, so please, take the time to write her back. She's a troubled woman, but her love for you is true and unwavering. Will you do that? Just a quick little, hey, got your letter, doing great, will suffice. Alright. Just so you know, it kills me and you that we can't stand up to Dad. But as long as he lives, his word is God in this house. I understand that, yes. Well, you never know, he could be gone quicker than you expect. A week from now, and bam, he's dead as de-social life. Is there not an ounce of respect in your body? Oh, give me a break, I'm upset. He's gone way too far. Once he's dragged his butt off to the great beyond, anything goes. Surprise! Michelle was alive! Yeah, I suppose. Till then, we'll take care of things here. Tomorrow's gonna be the performance of our lives. Crying like a couple old big babies and laughing our tails off inside. You'll forgive me if I have trouble trusting that loose tongue of yours. Psh, I'm not stupid. I know this is important. Not even Amy will suspect a thing. Amy. Yeah, not even she can know. Gonna crush her, I'm sure, but the less people who know, the better. Yeah, I'll crush her, alright. When Georgia said her name, my whole body went shamefully cold. It's been a year and a half since the heck she'd put me through, but every last detail of it remained carved into my mind and body. There's no way she'd even be slightly sad about my death. She might have acted, but she'd almost certainly be elated by the news. Sim George had still yet to see what lay beneath that woman's mask. I know you two wear clothes. Huh? Are you worried about how this might affect her? What? She cared for you for about 6 months, didn't she? When do you want to let the servants in? What? From what I heard, you got real close to dying in there. You wouldn't even eat unless she was there. Who the heck told you that? What? Is that not what happened? Did something happen between you two, Michelle? Amy to do a dang... Never mind. I can't tell them. I can't put what I went through into words. Only worse than my shame. Especially not in front of my brothers. Georges, how are things between you and Amy? Still letting what happened 2 years ago get to you? Well, I mean, at the time, things were a total disaster. Well excited about getting myself a pretty little wife, only to find out she's rocking the boat with someone else. Cried for weeks. Yeah, I'm sorry. Deep down, though, she ain't actually a bad girl. I mean, yes, she is. She's young and kids make mistakes. After it came out, she turned over a new leaf. She started doting on me something serious, and well, started not to let one little mistake like that go when she's trying so hard to make up with me. The age excuse doesn't work for Dee, though. For about a year, things were really rough between us. I didn't even want to look at him. But at the end of the day, we're family. We can get past anything. Besides, because you let the cat out of the bag, that gave me something to hold over Dee. All things considered, I'm not complaining. So, you would say you're happy then, Georges? Sure would, yep. Believe it or not, kinda head over heels for her. I not to like a girl like Amy. Oh, I see. You really feel that bad about 2 years ago? So she's still keeping up the good girl facade on Georges and Didier. No one else knows. She's actually a sadistic, cackling demon. There's nothing less trustworthy in the world than a woman who's always smiling. But if Georges thinks he's happy, I can't take that away from him. Michelle? Oh, right, yes. You'll feel guilty about the way I lost control of my emotions and took it out on you guys. It happens to everyone. In fact, you can stand to do a little more shouting and fussing. Then you could... Because of underdeveloped social skills? You heard that? Yeah, one heck of a nasty streak, huh, D? Glad to hear it. You're still on good terms. Glad to hear you're still on good terms. It wasn't my intention to pit the two of you against each other. We know. That blame falls on my shoulders. I want you to know something, Michelle. Though your transformation was too much for mother and father to accept, with enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before. Just like it did for myself and Georges. None of this is your fault. It was all unfortunate timing. God's a little bit of a jerk, too. Try not to forget I am a knight, Georges. In time? In time. Speaking of which, we don't have much left. I'm gonna tell the coachman to set off, okay? The deer. Yes? Tell me the truth. Will the three of us ever meet again? Why would you ever ask that? Of course we will. But they never met again. Not a chance I'm letting this be our last family get-together. One last question, then. Yes? Am I your brother? I mean, look at you. Don't look like much of a sister to me. So yeah, I'd say you are. I see. So long, then. Very well. And may good health bless you until we meet again. Until then, Michelle. Very well. Before sending me off for good, they both gave me strong, firm hugs. Didier first, and then Georges. The warmth I felt in their arms, my family's arms, slowly spread through my chilled body, which made it that much more difficult to part ways. The wheels of the carriage rattled against the wet, stone-paved road. I stuck my head out the window, watching as they shrunk into the distance, standing there in the rain until they were completely out of view. A tightness filled my breast. Every glimmer of hope I had for my new life was matched by an equal degree of darkness and uncertainty. Would I ever make it back home? And if I did, would people still call me a demon child? Having a great mother was another uncomfortable weight on my soul. The thought of having to play a girl for her made me sick. Georges had acted like it would be nothing. But it wasn't that easy. It was more than mere pretend. Didier had said that with time things would change. But how could he be certain that those changes would be for the better? The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. Is that the end of this door 7? Or are we going to see Michelle get to the mansion? Exiled is the name of the scene. The next thing I know, I'm sinking into a vast void. Darkness cups my hands and legs, restricting my movement. Images of the past that I'd kept buried away for so long stream past me. This isn't how I wanted it to happen. Not coming from my own mouth, but being laid bare for all to see without my consent. Okay, we're in the real world now. You get what I mean when I say that. That wasn't how I wanted her to find out about my secret, about my shameful history. Although, usually... Wait, I think I actually kind of broke that rule. Sometimes when you're in the mansion alone, like, you know, in the mansion outside doors, there's not a scene name, but there's here. But that's not always true. Like, I know, like, bad endings and stuff had scene names. Forget what else. Anyway, about my shameful history. I warned you, my dear. I told you you didn't want to reclaim your old self. If you'd simply let it be, you want to be here now, forced to relive it all. Now do you understand? The tale I spun behind the 4th door was as much for you as it was for her. There, you are a young man with a sad fate. But you met a wonderful woman, fell in love with her, then died in the arms of tragedy. The sequence of events is not far from the truth, but I was able to turn it into something enchanting and beautiful. I got rid of all the nasty little details. Your ugliness, your body troubles, all that. Doesn't it seem a bit unfair, Michelle? You tore down the walls around your cell's heart. I earned her past. But you wanted to keep your own nice and safe and hidden away. She has every right to be upset. You were afraid she wouldn't accept you, were you not? That's precisely what happened. But can you honestly blame her? The truth that you've kept hidden away is not something most would be able to accept. The prince who came riding in to save her... Silence! Wasn't actually a man. Please. Enough. I've seen enough. Let it stay buried, please. Just stop this. I don't want to see it. I don't want anything to do with it. But sad little creature you are, my dear. No woman in this world would have any interest in you now. You've surrounded yourself with layer upon layer of walls, covered yourself with this patchwork, barely kept together quilted masks. It's the only thing keeping you together. You're the frailest one of all, the weakest. It's about time you accepted that and stopped trying to fight it. I am not weak. Oh, is that so? Let's proceed with the tale then, shall we? Face the one you hate the most in this world. Yourself. Your weakness, your ugliness. Face it in despair. We're going back inside the door then? Ah! That was an exclamation mark, so. Ah! Don't! Again. Once again, my own desires, my own wishes are completely irrelevant. The past sprawls out before me once more. And the witch is exactly right. I despise the man I was then, teeming with vain hope and foolish dreams. I'd rather pretend that part of me never existed. But I have no choice. I'm dragged back into the life I once lived. My pleas for mercy, fading into dark nothingness. I couldn't remember how long it had been since the capital disappeared into the distance, but I've been on the road for some time now. We've heard this song before. We've long since paved roads behind. The cab tracked back and forth as it proceeded down the rough dirt path. For hours, I stared through the windows as unfamiliar scenery flowed past. Eventually, a fog settled over the area, making it difficult to discern night from day. We made our way through dark, dense woods. And beyond them, with the world fading into view after a dream, a mansion appeared before us. All the windows were either shuttered or boarded, encasing the house in darkness. In a way, it felt like all I had done was move from one place into a much larger one. Briefly, I thought the possibility had sealed to keep anyone from seeing me inside, but my coming here was a very recent development. More likely then, the house had been in this condition when it was initially purchased. Quite the piece of property my father had found himself with. Wondered if he had been swindled by its previous owner. Huh? OBS, what's that? Encoding overloaded! Okay, you're good now. I wonder if he'd been swindled by its previous owner. It's a gloomy, uninviting place, but it didn't appear to be in disrepair. The coachman left my luggage outside the door, gave me an empty farewell, and went on his way. I was entirely alone. Spent some time just staring at it up the forest, but naturally, there's nothing of interest to be found there. So I quietly turned around and opened the door to the mansion. That scene with Michelle and his brothers was too happy. I can't believe that the game's gonna let that happy moment stay. I'm used to happy things being torn apart. It's certainly dark. I can barely even see my own feet. Briefly, I considered trying to unshutter a window or two, but ended up deciding against it. The less inviting the place looked, the easier it would be for me to avoid contact with the outside world, as Didier had recommended. Standing there in the darkness for several minutes, my eyes gradually grew accustomed to the lack of light. While it's hardly ideal, it's sufficient to take a look around the house. The inside didn't seem to have received the same level of care as the outside. Everything was dusty, air was many years stale. But I wasn't in the cleaning mood, so I dug through my luggage for a bundle of candles, lighting one with a flint. A stained glass window? Examining the large room I found myself in, I came across a stained glass window depicting an angel. The Archangel, through whom I had been named, looked solemnly down upon me. Quite the joke. 2 columns of evenly spaced pews ran the length of the room, all facing the multicolored window. I set the candlestick on a podium of some sort, which is when I realized this is a chapel. A flat length of silver, bent in the middle, was mounted to the pulpit's face. When I saw it, oh, the spoilers. It was the Black Hedgehog. That's, Darkness the Hedgehog. When I saw it, I knew exactly what it used to be. A cross. The pews weren't facing the stained glass, but the cross. Why though? Notice that the mansion had been built around the chapel, rather than the opposite. I was perplexed as to why anyone would do that. But of course, there's no one around to sate my curiosity. Taking the candlestick back in hand, I made my way beyond the pulpit. There's a small metal door. Pressed one hand against the cool surface, and my heart leapt. It was abnormally cold. The door itself seemed perfectly normal, and inexplicable anxiety spread through me. It was a very unusual sensation. My instincts told me I should stay far, far away. My heart told me it was my duty to see what lay beyond. What am I going to find back there? After a few moments' hesitation, I decided to act in opposition to my instincts. This is the tower, right? Yep. As always, gotta play this little slidey animation. I was looking at a long spiral staircase. The wooden stairs stretched so high I couldn't see where they ended. An observation tower, perhaps? Instead of being pushed forward by some inhuman force, I mounted the staircase. Oh, and Morgana's gonna talk to him, right? By the third or fourth loop, soft light began peeking into the tower, though through regularly spaced rectangular openings in the stone walls. Through one such window, I gazed outside. Far off in the distance, beyond the seemingly endless ocean of trees, I saw a small village. Not where I'm ever going to go. So many stairs. It had been quite some time since I'd exerted myself this much. Hardly had any opportunity locked away in my chambers. With every step I took, I could hear my joints creaking and my muscles screaming. As long as I was out of breath, I was staying upright with the help of the wall. This is pitiful. Dang it. Turning back never once occurred to me. I had to keep climbing. Had to make it to the top. And it was that feeling of necessity that pushed my exhausted body upward. By the time I reached the top, I was practically gasping for air. Sweat streamed down my forehead. I wiped it aside, turning my gaze towards yet another door. But unlike the first, what on earth? A tangle of rope covered the surface. Layers upon layers of it, making the tent abundantly clear. Nothing shall come in or out. It didn't look like it had been put there recently either. As much of it was rotted through. Out of curiosity, I grabbed at the coil and yanked. The rope snapped in several places, chunks falling limply to the floor. That wasn't enough to allow the door to open, though. People only seal doors like this for a reason. Largely because they didn't want, or couldn't allow, others to see what hid behind them. Like, what they did to me. For a few moments, I felt as though I was looking down at myself from outside my body. If it hadn't been this man, with someone else standing there, would they have turned back at the side of the sealed-off door, acting as though nothing was there? Or would they have done what I did? As I did. I ground my teeth, a mix of annoyance and bitterness rushing through me. But I did not hesitate. I held the flame of the candle up to the wall of rope, careful not to set the whole thing ablaze, slowly, carefully burning through them one by one. It was repetitive and time-consuming, but I persisted, wiping away sheets of sweat before it streamed in my eyes. The sun was well on its way down before I finally managed to expose the door. I took a deep breath, looked up at it, and gulped. There's something indescribably chilling about the door, and then I pushed it open. A barely noticeable breeze rushed past me. A single ray of sunlight shone into the room, coming from a single window sitting high atop the wall. Cast a milky white patch of light on the hard floor, revealing the fact that I was not alone. The rumors say a witch lives in this mansion. There I saw, in this cursed house, a skeleton with only one arm. Cursed mansion for a cursed man. It was like I was destined to end up here. So that's Morgana's body, as you know, the story in Door 6. Well, we'll call that Door 6. And no way of finding out who the skeleton belonged to. So I left it there at the top of the tower and retreated into thought. Wondered to myself, how the one-armed person died. How they felt locked in that room, staring up at the sole window, so far out of reach. But the only thing they would have seen was the sky and the occasional bird. Had they yearned for more light, or had they come to despise the tiny patch that trickled into the room? Had they been some kind of wicked criminal in prison for wrongdoing? Not all prisoners are necessarily bad people. Having been branded with a non-existent curse, I couldn't help but think that perhaps something similar had happened to whoever they were. You have no idea. Frantically reaching out for the sun, consciously praying for a rescue that would never come. Welling on through their mind as they withered away. Would anyone ever come for me? Would my brothers keep their word? Or would I, years from now, end up another pile of dry bones somewhere in this house? Unwanted and alone. Robbed of all hope, with no one but the darkness to talk to as it sunk its teeth deeper and deeper into me. That corpse could be me in the future. Didier, Georges. Did you really send me here to keep me hidden? Or is this to be my grave? Can I put my faith in you? Can I trust you when you say I'll be able to return? That everyone will happily accept me? That we'll all be together again? That we'll play chess? That we'll draw pictures? That nobody will be left out? All I really wanted was for people to accept me for who I was. To accept that I was a man. No, that I had grown to resemble a man. That I had the heart of a man. I didn't need anything else. I didn't want to cause anyone anguish. I didn't want to hate anyone. I simply wished to be who I was, or who I wanted to be. And I didn't want to be treated like I was strange or different. If I was asking too much, then at the very least, I wanted to have one person in my life who truly understood me. Dear Georges, pray that you can be that for me. Lurking quietly in the mansion's encompassing darkness. I got it! I said it! I said the word! I waited and hoped the day might arrive, but I could come out of hiding. However, 1, 2, 3 years later, I'd still not been set free. Only my mother wrote me. In all her letters, she said the same thing. When your curse is broken, come back home, sweetheart. When your curse is broken, I want you back in my life. When your curse is broken, everything will be back to normal. I wait expectantly. For the day you're free of that terrible curse. The curse would never be broken, though. What I was now was what I was meant to be. All the time I'd spent as a girl, none of that was real. Didier had said he didn't think I was cursed. My brothers didn't think I was some kind of heckish demon child. So no, the curse was never to be broken. Because there was no curse to break. I wasn't cursed at all. There's no dang curse. For the flow of time eroded away at me, slowly killing any confidence I once had. Sucking me dry of all trust. Of others, and myself. With enough time, I started questioning my own beliefs about what I was. Started thinking that perhaps I was cursed. Much like they had at the bowling estate, a servant who came by every month did his best to avoid making eye contact. Beyond just bringing me food, he was also checking in on me, making sure I didn't attempt to run away. Every month, he probably went back and told Mother the same thing, that my curse had still not yet been broken. Do you have the answers I seek, O Father in heaven? If you do, I ask you to guide me. Please tell me what I am. If I truly am cursed, perhaps, you can tell me how much my soul weighs too. It's, there's a calculation. Some guy trying to measure how much the soul was. Found, like, the human body came up, like, something kilograms short. No, not kilograms, like, milligrams short. 17 or something. I forget. Probably not very much, but he just miscalculated. Obviously. Spending enough time alone in the dark mansion to drive anyone mad. The more time that passed, the more I grew to question myself, my worth as a human being. Whenever the self-doubt and loathing became too much to take, I trekked up to the top of the observation tower to see the light. Sitting there on the hard floor, I placed my hand on the skeleton's leg, its shoulder, its hand. From the size of the bones, whoever it appeared to have been, still had been young when their life withered away. Poor child. Even I feel blessed, compared to you. Well, how miserable it must have been, locked way up in this tower, to have your arm mercilessly severed. You have my pity, though. I alone shall mourn your death, and I alone shall take comfort in your presence. You poor child. But pretending to pity someone who had been worse than me. I wanted to call it a couple minutes ago anyway, so I'll see you guys next time with some more, House in Fata Morgana. Gotta go. Get a Discord message from someone. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.